Welcome to episode 138 of the Sports Marketing Machine Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Neisler. This is the show to help you sell more tickets, sell more merchandise, and grow your fan base. Today, we're diving into the topic of surveys. Yes, a very sexy, very exciting topic, but today I'm going to detail what the difference between a community survey is and what a fan survey is and how you would use both and the value of both. You see, both can be very powerful. They serve totally different purposes, and if you mix them up, you're going to get useless data, frustrated GMs, external relations directors, and what have you. So today, I'm going to explain when to use each, what questions to ask, and how to turn those insights into real ticket sales. Let's go! Today we're talking about surveys. Let's start off by the community survey. What is a community survey? Here is one way to describe it. It's an awareness audit. It's just an awareness audit. You're trying to understand the perception, not performance, the perception that the community has about your team. It tells you what people think of your team, not how they experienced it. Let me say that again. A community survey is designed to understand and unpack what people think of your team, not how they experienced your games. You would use it when you're trying to gauge brand awareness. Hey, have you ever heard about our team? Test new branding or logos, explore market potential expansion, talk about pricing, opportunities of premium areas. Maybe you're doing some construction or facility upgrades. Those types of things are great to get a community survey out to really get an understanding of what's actually happening. So think of it as your preseason or your off-season, potentially like a report about your community. It's like asking, how well known are we? Do people even know we exist? How your marketing is actually working? This is what's happening with the community survey. Do people know, like, and trust you? Have they heard about you? That's what we're asking for. So a team in the Midwest found that 60% of their locals recognized their mascot, but only 28% of them knew that they played home games about 10 minutes away. That discovery changed how they design their billboards and their ads on Meta. So just being able to do a community survey and you get it out there and you ask these questions, you're going to unpack a whole lot of different things. You can run community surveys a few different ways. You can get something like SurveyMonkey or a Google form or something like that, and you're trying to run it with some ads behind it, or you can run it through local Facebook groups, Chamber of Commerce, tourism boards, anywhere where non-fans hang out. You could absolutely do this. So that's what a community survey is. Remember, it's about perception, how people view you, do they know, like, and trust you, not how they experienced your games. So what is a fan survey? That is essentially an experience audit. How did they enjoy coming to your game? A fan survey is all about behavior, not about awareness. These are your buyers, people who have attended a game or games, bought multiple tickets, just came to a game. This is where you ask, hey, how was your experience? Was parking smooth? Was the ticket price fair? How likely are you to come back? This is the data that really drives renewals, theme night ideas, pricing tweaks, promotional ideas. This really drives things because these are the people who have been to your games, eaten your hot dogs, and had a blast at your games. This especially works best when you can connect it to your CRM, not necessarily a one-off Google form. That way you can actually compare survey responses to purchase history. So when you're doing a fan survey, there's a few ways that you would set this up to really understand who and what's happening. So your mini plan holders and your season ticket holders are in one bucket, or two different buckets if you'd like. Your group buyers are typically like your single game, one game attendees. They want to be in the same bucket as your single game attendees, because you're going to ask different questions, and some of the information that comes out of your mini plan holders and your season ticket holders, your most loyal fans, is going to be significantly different than someone who just came out to one game last year, spent $100 at the concession stand feeding their family, and another $100 in your merchandise store. That's going to be completely different than what you would get out of a mini plan holders and season ticket holders. So the way that you're thinking about this is really taking a look at the data and comparing survey responses to the purchase history. And if families who came out to a one game rated the food value low, but still came out the next year, or a mini plan holder who comes out multiple times is complaining about the parking, you know you have some things that you should be working on. This really, the pricing isn't necessarily always the problem here. It could always lead to a few different things. When I look at surveys and put them together for teams, the information oftentimes falls into a few different buckets. Number one, it's communication. How can we do a better job communicating to our fans? Number two, it could be about pricing. It could be about the quality, the value that they feel like they've got. And number three, it could just be that we haven't spent as much time focusing on improving the fan experience as we could. Now, I'll dig into that in just a few moments. But all right, next part here is, when do you use a community survey and when would you do a fan survey? During the off season, for a rebrand, as you're working on things for the upcoming year, that's a great time to do a community survey. Maybe when you're entering a new market or launching some new media. Those are great ways to do community surveys. When would you do a fan survey? I've seen a lot of teams do it a few different ways. However you choose to do it, I would strongly encourage you to, at the very least, do a fan survey during the year. I've seen teams do fan surveys every single game. Single game buyer at the end of every game gets a fan survey that says, hey, thanks for coming. Here's a little bit of some questions that we had about your experience. Great opportunity for a fan to vent if there's some problems, or a great opportunity for a fan to brag about an employee or really talk about the experience. So you could do it every single game at the end of each game. You could do it monthly. You could do it twice a year. But most teams that I've seen typically just do the fan survey at the end of the baseball season or end of the sports season. I don't always like that, because if I came out the first game of the year, I'm not going to remember all of the details from that first game 3 months later at the end of the season. So I strongly encourage you to do it several times. If you don't do it every single game, totally get it, because that can be a little bit overwhelming, but you definitely should do it multiple times. What I don't want you to do is, let's do the fan survey and the community survey at the same time, because you're going to confuse a whole lot of people and overwhelm your staff. That's going to get super duper messy. So don't do that. So in season, fan survey, or at the end of the season, fan survey. Off season, community survey. So how do you turn survey data into ticket sales? And this is the part where I feel like this is a blind spot for a lot of teams. They collect the data, but they never really act on it. So when teams run the surveys, they're getting all this data, they're putting it together in some sort of report, some sort of spreadsheet. They're not really acting on it. They're more or less acting on one-off situations. When a fan had a bad experience, they call the fan up, take care of them. But there's not really this is going to set the direction, the strategy for what we're going to be doing next year from a ticket sales perspective or what have you. So for the community data that you used and what you've put together, use awareness gaps to decide ad placement and partnerships. If you find that specific zip codes have a lot of fans that responded that maybe haven't heard about you guys as much, maybe that's a great opportunity for awareness campaigns. Maybe there's a specific community zip code that has lots of people that know all about you and love you, know, like, and trust you. That's a great opportunity for some partnerships to be able to articulate that on your corporate sponsorship side of things. If the community doesn't know that you offer some sort of promotion, like a family night, that's where your billboards and your radio ads and your Facebook ads should actually lead. For your fan data, we're going to segment fans by experience and intent. I strongly encourage to put together a dynamic report. You don't always get that out of SurveyMonkey, but what we do, if you're interested, soft sell here, we would take your survey data, put it into a report inside of Power BI, and now it's dynamic. So you could drill in to say, hey, all the fans that attended 2 or more games, what did they think about this? What were the most specific promotions? For the fans that had a hard time downloading their tickets, how did that impact the game day experience? So a great opportunity to really drill in. A couple other thoughts on the fan data, segmenting fans by experience and intent. So would you recommend this team to a friend? So those folks who scored fairly high as net promoter scores, 8, 9, and 10s, they're definitely targets for tickets and what have you. If someone marked inside your fan data or your fan survey that they're unlikely to return, that's a great personal outreach opportunity there. If they marked in there a lot of information about their favorite theme nights, I mean, that's such a promotional calendar brainstorming goldmine, right? Think about surveys not as paperwork, but more as like direction and playbooks. So at the end of each episode, I give you the main takeaways. This episode's all about surveys and getting your head wrapped around about the information that you want to get out of it. Community surveys tell you what people think about your brand, the perception. Fan surveys tell you how they feel about their experience, what they experienced at your game. When you use these both strategically, attention first, then retention, you actually are starting to build momentum in your community because you're understanding what's actually happening. Always, 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 always connect survey results back to ticket information. That's how you turn feedback into ticket sales. So if this episode got you thinking about how you're collecting fan feedback or community feedback, don't wait until the end of the season. Start asking questions now. A smart segmented survey can give you insights that can drive real revenue. If you need help building one, like I'd mentioned, I help teams build survey dashboards for teams so you can see fan sentiment in real time. If you're curious, pop on over to sportsmarketingmachine.com, click on the services, and you'll see the Fan Plus survey. Great opportunity for you to kind of learn a little bit more. If not, no big deal. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to share it with a fellow marketer or a GM who's just like you, someone who wants to use their data better and sell more tickets. Until next time.